So the entire manhunt for Amritpal Singh lasted over a month. Um when he managed to evade the police for weeks and together, there was no, except for a few traces on CCTV, the police really couldn't catch hold of Amritpal Singh. Finally, I think all his close aides were arrested one by one. So probably Amritpal Singh lost out on a great deal of ground support. So eventually he surrendered to the police at a very important place, which was the birthplace of a former militant leader who died in 1984 by the name of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. So Amritpal surrendered at Bhindranwale's birthplace, and it was a peaceful surrender, and the police came and they took him away.
Yeah, so a significant place of surrender. You talked about how many of his aides and supporters have been arrested. What is going to happen to them?
So most of them, Amritpal and his closest aides will be charged under India's National Security Act. It's a very stringent act, and it provides for detention up to 1 year, and then it can be extended by 6 months every 6 months. So it really provides for a very long period of preventive detention in which a person needn't actually be charged. So many actually call it a very draconian act as well. So that's definitely one act under which Amritpal Singh and his aides will be charged. They will also be charged under the Arms Act for possessing weapons which are not licensed. Then they will. Then in one incident in which they sort of stormed into a police station to rescue one of their men. On that incident, they will be charged under acts which of preventing public officials from doing their duty. So these are roughly three acts they'll be charged under. Then they'll in the storming of the police station, since a number of police personnel were assaulted, they will probably be charged under attempt to murder and assault as well.
You know, he has also enjoyed quite a lot of support. Do you think there could be protests now by some of his supporters now that he has been arrested?
So a lot of Amritpal Singh's organization has been already arrested, and many of his closest supporters are behind bars. But there is a lot of sympathy for what has happened to him. People feel that he has been punished way beyond the offenses he might have committed. By the Indian state and the Indian media, he's been accused of a lot more heinous things than what he has actually done, because a lot of the accusations are merely theories that the government has put forward, that he was sort of training militants and trying to prepare for an armed insurgency, none of which seemed, I mean, there were no offenses committed till now, except that one act of violence near the police station. So in that sense, many people do feel, even those who didn't agree with Amritpal earlier, that he has been accused way beyond what he has actually committed. So there is sympathy, there will be protests, there will be a lot of international advocacy around what has happened with Amritpal Singh. But in terms of mass gathering, it will be severely constrained by the fact that his own organization has largely been arrested. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's been a lot of criticism of the the Modi government for suppressing dissent. Do you think what is happening here, to your point, that he hasn't necessarily carried out some of the acts that he's accused of, and he was sort of stirring a lot of support for Sikh independence? Do you think this is another example of suppressing dissent?
I think the manner in which this entire crackdown was carried out does point in that direction. Because even if one had to set aside Amritpal Singh for a moment, the other people who were detained, many of them didn't even have links to Amritpal Singh or his organization. As many as 150 Twitter handles were withheld in India. Most of them are of journalists, of activists, of Canadian politicians like Jagmeet Singh, of poet like Rupi Kaur, people belonging to Jagmeet Singh's party. They were withheld in India. Now, these are people who really have zero connection with Amritpal Singh. So clearly it is a crackdown on a certain strand of opinion within the Sikh minority in India, and not necessarily people who are connected with Amritpal Singh. So yes, I think in that sense, we can connect the manner in which this crackdown was carried out to the larger suppression of dissent in India.
Yeah. Aditya, really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.